Zoe and her family were planning a big family trip. As they were sitting down to figure out a great place to visit, Zoe suggested that her family look at climate information. Zoe had just learned in class that climate is the weather over a long period of time. The information includes temperature and precipitation, or how much rain or snow falls, and would give her family insight on finding the best place to travel. Climate types are different types of climate that have the same patterns of temperature and precipitation. There are 5 major categories of climate types. These categories, tropical, moderate, continental, polar, and dry, are found throughout the world. The categories are broken down into specific climate types, or subclimates. The tropical climate category is broken down into 2 types, tropical wet and dry, and tropical wet. Tropical wet and dry climates have a lot of rain and high temperatures, but they also have both wet and dry seasons during the year. On the other hand, tropical wet climates, while also hot, have a lot of precipitation throughout the year. Desert areas are called dry climates and are divided into 2 types, arid and semi-arid. Arid areas get very little precipitation and are very hot, while semi-arid areas receive more precipitation. Semi-arid places are usually the transition areas from an arid area to a more wet climate type. The climate of an area can be affected by 4 major influences: altitude, latitude, bodies of water, and ocean currents. Altitude is how high or low a certain area is from sea level. The higher an area is located, the colder the climate becomes. For example, the mountains in Colorado can have snow caps or snow on the top, even though it's 90 degrees in the valley below. Latitude is the location either north or south of the equator. Since the Earth is tilted, certain parts get more heat from the sun than other areas. Areas that are located close to the equator will be warmer, and areas further away from the equator will be colder. Bodies of water can affect climate by cooling it or heating it up. Lake Michigan affects the temperature of Chicago, for instance. During the winter months, the lake is warmer than the air around it because it was heated throughout the summer. This causes the air to be warmer in the winter in Chicago. During the summer, the lake has an opposite effect. Throughout the winter, the lake was cooled by the cold temperatures of the winter. The water is then cooler than the air around Chicago and will cool the city on a warm day. The last way a climate can be affected is by ocean currents. Ocean currents bring warm or cooler water into an area. Just as the example about Lake Michigan shows us, warmer currents will keep the area warmer, while colder currents will cool the area down. Alright, let's review what we learned regarding climate types. We learned the important basics first, namely that climate is the weather over a long period of time, whose information includes temperature and precipitation, or how much rain or snow falls, as well as subclimates, which are specific climate types. Climate types, though, are areas on the Earth that have similar precipitation and temperature patterns. The climate types are affected by altitude, which is how high or low a certain area is from sea level, and latitude, which is the location either north or south of the equator, as well as bodies of water and ocean currents. These affect the climate and help to create different climate types.